Thanks so much, Robert. Making news around the nation, 5 Democrats are in Las Vegas today for their first presidential debate. Can Hillary Clinton hold on to her thin lead in the polls? Will Bernie Sanders gain momentum? And before tonight is over, will you know who these other 3 candidates are? Tracy Potts is in Washington with a preview.
Are you excited for the debate?
Hillary Clinton outside Donald Trump's Las Vegas hotel going after the Republican frontrunner.
I don't think it's entertaining when somebody insults immigrants, insults women. That is just unacceptable.
But tonight, she faces 4 Democrats: Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley, former Virginia Senator Jim Webb, and former Rhode Island Governor Lincoln Chafee. Sanders is drawing huge crowds and leading in New Hampshire. So far, he's refused to go negative.
What we need are answers to the problems, not just campaign rhetoric.
Political experts say tonight's debate could be a big moment for O'Malley.
This guy is a competent, thoughtful, articulate guy, and I think he's going to surprise some people.
Big questions face Clinton, explaining donations, her private email server.
Hillary can't duck. She can't hide. She's fully exposed to him.
And whether the Benghazi committee is getting to the bottom of what she knew about the deadly attack, or, as one former staffer now claims, a partisan effort to torpedo her campaign. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
All right, 17 newsmakers now. Our political analysts join us this morning, and we have a sub in for Kathy Abernathy.
Yes, Jesse Rojas is joining us this morning, a talk show host on Spanish radio here locally. And then also we have Mark Martinez, CSUB political science professor. Good morning to both of you. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, thank you for having us.
All right, so Mark, let's start with you. We're hearing 5 candidates, and she and I, in the first time that story ran, said, who is running? Who are those people? 2 of the people we know, it seems like. We have been getting some pretty good coverage. The other 3 we don't. So what's going to happen? Are people going to watch this debate?
Well, I'm not entirely sure people are going to watch it, but if they do, they're going to be watching it to find out who these other 3 guys are. Lincoln Chafee, O'Malley, at the end of the day, these guys need some kind of soundbite. They need some kind of moment. They need some dramatic stage event, something that's going to make these guys stand out. And we'll see tonight if they're going to do it. But at the end of the day, I think everybody's going to focus on Bernie and Hillary.
Now, you say you're not entirely sure people are going to watch this. Record numbers watch the Republican debate. Isn't that concerning?
Well, yes and no. The thing is, most people recognize the Republican debate for what it was. It was a real circus. And with the Democratic Party, you have a little bit more stability. And so at the end of the day, people who are tuning in for the Democratic Party, the debate for the Democratic Party, they want to get to know the 3 candidates that nobody knows about.
And Jesse, Donald Trump says he's got a live tweet tonight, so that's going to be interesting. Maybe people will be watching on Twitter as well. What do you suspect is going to happen? I mean, coming from that side of the political aisle.
Well, he mentioned democratic stability. I question that. You got Bernie Sanders, a self-declared socialist, who thinks everything should be free and make you pay for it. You got Hillary Clinton and the whole scandal with the Benghazi and all the lies and cheating that came out of that. And then, for example, you also have Martin O'Malley, who his career accomplishment is cleaning up Baltimore. Well, that's obviously questionable there.
Yeah. Let's talk about Hillary Clinton in specific. She actually, as you see right here, yesterday met with some union workers in front of the Trump Hotel. Perhaps a bit of a troll move there, you know, like, hey, I'm out in front of your hotel, Donald. What do you suspect? I suspect there's going to be some questions from Anderson Cooper and folks and company about the server issue. And Mark, I'll let you answer this as well. Some, especially on the right side of the aisle, question, if you can't understand basic fundamentals about emails and state secrets, is that not a disqualifier to being president of the United States?
Absolutely. I believe that all these lies that have came out of this committee in Congress, the Benghazi committee, really show who Hillary Clinton is and who her administration will be if she was elected president. And I believe people, the American people, have a real concern for all the lies and all the loops that she's been making people go around, and I think it's very responsible.
Mark, not understanding how email works, admitting what's Wi-Fi, is that not a disqualifier for being president?
Colin Powell on this one. Powell is just very clear. This is a non-issue, and so it's really not even worth the time. If we're going to be looking at Hillary, the thing is we want to understand is if Hillary is actually likable. A lot of people simply don't like her because of the Clinton name. With regard to Benghazi, you know, at the end of the day, I know, Jess, Republicans, conservatives want to talk about that because primarily it's because the Republican Party has nothing to offer. The party is imploding. You've got big problems with the leadership in Congress. And when you look at somebody like Donald Trump is a cartoon character. He's a caricature, actually. And so when you think about what's going on, you have to go to something that you want to latch onto, that hopefully people will bite into. But Colin Powell had this right. This is a non-issue.
Let's talk a little bit about Biden. Is he going to enter? The question has been up in the air for so long now. When is going to be kind of the do or die moment for him to make that decision?
I think after this debate, I think Joe Biden would really take it more serious as to if he should enter the race or not. I believe if after the debate Hillary Clinton's poll numbers keep dropping as they have been, he will truly consider jumping in the race. That's my guess.
If you had to guess at the end of all this, who are the two people who are going to be running at the end of all the primaries? Who's the Republican candidate? Who's the Democratic candidate?
Well, I think it's too soon to tell now. I think Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton have a good shot at getting the nomination as the way their numbers show.
But if Joe Biden jumps in the race, you think he's got to
I think Joe Biden will beat Hillary Clinton in the polls.
Mark?
I think at this actually, I think Joe Biden would be a very formidable candidate. I think coming out of this, assuming that Bernie Sanders continues on his trajectory, he's going to make this really competitive, and he might even squeak this out. The more people listen to him, the more they like him. And once people learn what democratic socialism, not socialism, not communism, but what democratic socialism, we don't have the time to do this. You guys can take my class one of these days, or we can do a special segment. But at the end of the day, what Bernie Sanders is all about is not what people think it is. When you talk about access, when you talk about access politically, when you talk about access in markets, this is what Bernie Sanders is talking about. It's not what people think it is with reference to China and old school Russia. Sanders has a good deal more to offer than people think.
But Mark, and he just made this point. The thing is, people like him because he's got things that sound great, but the question that Republicans have is, how do you pay for those things at the end of the day? Donald Trump has been criticized by the same thing. He has these ideas that we're going to be rich when he's president. That's how we're going to pay for all these programs.
No, look, if we can find $4.3 trillion to bail out Wall Street, a lot of people don't know this, but if you think about for example, one of the things that the Democratic Party needs to do tonight is explain how they're going to keep Social Security at the forefront of our political debate. Social Security is actually doing great. I've written many articles about this, and maybe one of these days we can do a special just for your audience. But if Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton can keep the issues like Social Security, college tuition, things like this at the forefront, I think they're going to do all right. Go ahead.
We've got 10 seconds left. Go ahead. We'll give you the final word here.
Well, I believe Bernie Sanders is currently discussing 90% tax rates. That's just crazy all around. He's also going on late-night radio talks talking about how he fantasizes about raping women. I think that's not very nice of a presidential candidate.
Oh, my God.
I don't know where
I'm not sure exactly.
Well, everybody knows he wrote essays in the 70s talking about fantasizing how he would rape women. It's all out there. The media doesn't choose to talk about it anymore. I think that's very disturbing.
Well, we'll have to take a deeper look into that. I haven't fact-checked that, so obviously we'd have to take a look at that. But it's, we'll have to see how this all plays out tonight, and then we'll probably have you guys back in to discuss. Absolutely. And maybe we'll do a whole segment on socialism and Social Security and maybe about these rape allegations. We'll have to see. 6:40, thank you guys both for coming in.
Thank you.